Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about a huge secret or misunderstanding of spirituality, which is integration. So let's get into it. So, a comment that I get every once in a while on my channel is this misunderstanding about getting distance from the body and mind versus integration. And so, let's look at this. This is a comment, it was quite a while ago, 2 years ago. As we progress in our spiritual journey, we create distance between body, mind, and soul. Please do not confuse. So, here is my response. And I responded with what I thought was one of the very best arguments, which comes right out of the Mahabharata. It was the second wife of Shantanu who was Satyavati. And she appeared very, very beautiful, as does our body with all of its pleasures. But previously, she was known as Matsyagandha, which is one who smells like a fish because she was raised by a fisherman. And so we are fooled by the body and its pleasures. Yet it is this same body which is the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Matsyagandha is eventually blessed by a sage, and she becomes Padma Gandha, that is, lotus smelling. The body itself becomes blessed by the performance of our own sadhana. So we take the body and we transform it by our meditative actions. And this is what is happening when we put our minds. So I've talked about the four proofs, and every once in a while somebody says, why would I put my mind on the body? Well, because you want to understand that you are transforming it. And that biofeedback will cause you to go deeper into your own meditation. So there is this transition in the beginning of meditation where we come into rapture, the rapture of concentration. And it is exemplified in your own body by the four proofs. Let's also look at a quote from Buddha that was sent to me by one of my wonderful students. There is one thing that, when cultivated and regularly practiced, leads to deep spiritual intention, to peace, to mindfulness and clear comprehension, to vision and knowledge, to a happy life here and now, and to the culmination of wisdom and awakening. And what is that one thing? It is mindfulness centered on the body. If the body is not cultivated, the mind cannot be cultivated. If the body is cultivated, then the mind can be cultivated. And that's the Buddha. And oh my God, isn't that gorgeous? And what he's really talking about is the yogic body. He's talking about the cultivation of the dorsal vagal complex. He's talking about creating a low idle state in the body, putting the body into heart rate variability resonance, which lowers the heart rate. And now you have a yogic body, and that fine-tuned, low idle body allows for this tremendous deep concentration automatically. It just appears. This concentration just appears because the body machinery is slowing down and getting out of the way. And so that's just a magical thing. And so that's what he's talking about. First the body, then the mind. And so this idea that we're trying to get away from the body is incorrect. We have it here from the Mahabharata and the great Buddha. So let's look at something which I think makes it very, very clear and very difficult to argue with, and that is brainwaves. So the first brainwave that we're going to look at is the beta brainwave. And so this is what it would look like if you had yourself a mind mirror. which is very expensive. If you're going to get one, get it from Judith Pennington and tell her I sent you, Forrest Knutson, and she will give you a discount, but it's very expensive, and I'm not sure you need to. But some people love all this stuff, so if you love it, well then, we'll go ahead and get it. But anyway, the mind mirror is so great because it divides your brain waves in the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. So you see both hemispheres at once. And so you see here the left hemisphere of the beta brainwave and the right hemisphere of the beta brainwave. And this would be a high stress state that you're looking at. And so the beta brainwave is very out there. It's very splayed. It's spreading to the sides, and that's a stress state. And then we'll move on here. And as we start to get a little bit sleepy, as we relax and just begin to enter into a slight trance, we get the alpha brainwave. And this is probably one of the most important brainwaves for meditation because it is the beginning of meditation. You have to have the alpha brainwave present in order to begin meditation. And so how do we do that? Well, we get into heart rate variability resonance and the alpha brainwave appears automatically. It's kind of magical. Next, we have the theta brainwave. And this is a much slower brainwave, and it's kind of the movie screen because when you have theta, you can start to have dreamlike images or visions. And so sometimes I get the comment that my meditations have turned into a movie, and it's because they're falling only into this brainwave of theta. And so it's like having a waking dream. So the theta is a little bit noisy, but that will unravel and it will slow down and it will coalesce into everything else. So don't be worried if that's happening. Now the next brainwave is the slowest brainwave. It's the delta. And the delta, if you want to get in touch with the delta, just imagine that somebody is sneaking up behind you and your hair raises up on the back of your neck. Well, that's the delta brainwave that allows that deep and slow intuition of the body. And so now we have cycled through all of the slow brainwaves, alpha, theta, delta. And the thing that happens in meditation is that all of these slower brainwaves come online. So we walk around all day and we stay almost entirely in the beta, usually. And what happens in meditation is these slower, subconscious brainwaves come online. And not just one of them, but all of them begin to show up for the party of meditation. And this is the genius of Anna Wise, because she was studying with Maxwell Cade. The very beginning of the Mind Mirror was with Maxwell Cade, one of his students, created this as a teaching instrument. Maxwell Cade was a Zen master. He was teaching meditation. And they started working with this instrument. They called it the Mind Mirror. And the thing that Anna Wise noticed is that everybody that was meditating deeply, all of the healers, all of the psychics that they talked to, they would display all of these brainwaves coming on at once, and they started calling it the awakened mind. So it's a really beautiful thing. And what it means is you are beginning to integrate with your own subconscious material. And so at first we don't see that integration. At first we just see that things are coming out, things are coming up. And slowly, they begin to integrate. And this actually gets displayed right on the mind mirror, and you see it. You see your brainwaves starting to coalesce, and they call this, Judith Pennington is carrying on the traditions of Maxwell Cade, Anna Wise, and she calls this the diamond mind. I don't think Anna called this the diamond mind. I think that name comes from Judith Pennington. But you see here the diamond mind. It's come in this diamond-like shape. And you see that the brainwaves, even the beta, is coming down into the alpha. And the alpha is going into the theta, and the theta is going into the alpha, and the delta is going into all of them. You see, it's starting to coalesce, it's starting to integrate. And finally, you have what is called the evolved mind, where all of these brainwaves are really, really coming together, and you have one beautiful, rounded, evolved mind. Now, this is an evolved mind in meditation. This is actually a picture of me in meditation, displaying the evolved mind. And because I'm in meditation, the beta is largely subdued. You see, the beta is not rounded quite as much. And so you just have a round down below in the lower self, which is the slower brain waves. That's an evolved mind in meditation. But during the days you walk around, you'll see the beta. If you're displaying the evolved mind, you'll see that the beta is actually rounding more so with the slower brain waves. And that is the evolved mind. So that's a quick look at brainwaves and integration. And I think it's a very, very important point. It's something to keep in mind. This is the trajectory that we want to go down. We want to go down the path of integration, because if we don't, then it leads to other psychological problems and even spiritual problems. And so I'll talk about that next, about what can go wrong when we're not, when we don't hold this idea of integration. It's really, really important. So I hope that you loved this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see you next time.